Okay, good evening, folks. You guys take longer than the kids. Right, good evening and a warm welcome to tonight's sixth form information evening. First of all, I'd just like to apologise and give you context for the backdrop. That's not what it usually looks like. Only it's for the performance next week of Jesus Christ Superstar, which there are still tickets available. So a parent recently asked me what I was most proud of about being the head of St. Chris. I remember being slightly surprised by the question, and my response was pretty swift, pretty simplistic, and pretty short. I said the thing that I'm most proud of is we make things really difficult for ourselves. And having given a bit more thought to that response in the last few days, I stand by it completely. And I'll perhaps come back to that in a minute. Tonight is about you and your children exploring what we have to offer, what we value, what we aspire to, and what we want your children to look like, feel like, and represent when they leave us for the next stage of their journey. Of course, we can and will talk about academic ambition, about our pastoral support and our highly qualified and achingly experienced sixth form team, who can run alongside your children as we help them take off those figurative stabilisers as they lurch gracefully or not towards the next stage of their journeys. However, I also want to be entirely honest. This might not be the right place for you next year, really. Some of you may want to join a wider, larger cohort where blending in and standing out is optional. Well, that step towards independence is more of a jump than a trajectory. And that's fine, that's great, that's brilliant, and will certainly work for some. As I mentioned, I told a parent recently that we make things really hard for ourselves, because it's true. Our belief is that our strength, our genuine strength, is in truly understanding and knowing the students as individuals. That means for us more work, more effort, more engagement, smaller classes, bespoke plans and the active pursuit of endless curiosity about potential and spirit. And that has to be done in one-to-ones, timely, and with curiosity being at the heart of this ambition. Of course, they will have greater space, they will have greater autonomy, they'll have greater independence, and so they should. But we will be along the way with them. As I said in a recent open day, to be known and understood is key to all our desires, and certainly for their contentment. With that in place, they can soar both academically and socially, brimming with focus. All of us here in this room work, and we get the best out of our teams or our families by talking to people as individuals, treating them not as cohorts. We work with those people we work with in teams and in families in different ways in order to get the best outcomes and for their contentment. For us, it's the same here in the sixth form, even more so in the sixth form. They are individuals and we will always treat them that way. Individual support, bespoke provision and personalised guidance in the right way, at the right time and in the best manner in order for them to help them really fly. Now that takes time, that takes dedication and it takes perseverance from all of us. We will tailor, adapt and cajole all at the same time. And by knowing and understanding them, we will truly see them develop in ways that we never thought possible and will surprise us all. I hope you get a lot from this evening. I'm going to pass over to Jenny in a second. And just for your awareness, myself, Nat Baker, our deputy, Joe Sapsford, our head of year, and we'll be around all evening to talk to you in the other room when you go and see the subject teachers. But I'll pass you over now to Jenny to continue.
Well, good evening, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to our sixth form evening. Thank you so much for coming. We have been talking with our Year 11 students in recent weeks about their next steps, and I'm sure that's a point that a lot of students in Year 11 are at the moment. And we have encouraged them to sort of think very widely, consider all of their options for these very important 2 years. In terms of my role, I've been privileged to work in the sixth form since 2016, and it is indeed a privilege. I absolutely love working in this part of the school, seeing our students through their final 2 years, 2 years that are potentially kind of amazing fun, potentially stressful, but hopefully a really rewarding and satisfying experience in our sixth form. So we have encouraged students to explore all of the options, but tonight I'm really going to focus on what we do and what I believe we do very well that would support your students in the future. So we have very high expectations of our sixth formers as learners. We want them to become independent learners, but within that security of our school environment. We are ambitious for them. We want them to do really well. We want to challenge them. We want to stretch them, but we also want to do that in a supportive and empathetic environment that is going to enable them to achieve the best they possibly can. We are unashamedly a school, so we are different to a sixth form college. We believe the best way of supporting our sixth formers is to have them in school for the whole school day. So if you don't want to be in all day and you want to just attend for your lessons, that's a very different kind of experience of a sixth form college. But we believe we are best placed to look after our students with them in the building so that they can not only participate in the lessons, they can receive support, they can complete sort of co-curricular activities and get the most out of their school day. So we have a very lovely sixth form centre, which hopefully you might choose to visit this evening. We'll have some sixth formers to run some tours for you. We've put a lot of work into developing that building to make it a professional learning environment, to encourage the students to sort of want to work like professionals. And we have a real mix of both formal and then less formal learning spaces. So there is something for everyone. So we have really lovely common room areas, which you can see in the photos, as well as much quieter study spaces that individuals can find and choose the right sort of learning environment for them. We are, again, as I say, essentially a school. Most of our students will study 3 A-levels. That is the standard sort of offer. Some students will start with 4, some will continue with 4, but we build in lots and lots of flexibility. Our entry requirement is 5 GCSEs at a grade 5 or above. We know a lot of our students will achieve way more than that, and we also know that some of our students, for whatever reasons, may not necessarily achieve that, and I want to urge you to sort of understand that we will look at every single individual offer. So we know if students have a difficult time during the exams, we are always willing to review that. We know our students very well. We know if they're capable of starting an A-level programme. We will be happy to sort of speak to you about that and support them on their sort of journey through A-levels. In addition to that, we do recommend a grade 6 in the subjects that you are going to choose for A-level, simply because that is going to make that A-level programme much more manageable. We want you to kind of be successful, so starting from that point is advisable, okay? We also run alongside our A-level programme the extended project qualification, which I know several students in this room I've had a chat to about already, which is a really good way of gaining some extra sort of research experience. So you do an individual project, or you can create an artifact, or you can write a play. There's lots of different ways of meeting the requirements of the EPQ, and it gives you the equivalent of sort of half an A-level in terms of UCAS points, but also equips our students with an incredible range of sort of independent learning skills, critical thinking, evaluation and self-reflection. So it's a really good thing to consider if you maybe don't want to commit to the sort of pressures of 4 A-levels, but you want to go into a little bit more depth in an area that you're really interested in. So we have a support team who would help the students through that process. The most important thing, I think the thing we're really proud of, is that we set our option blocks, our choices around what our students want to do. So at this point, any subject is on the table, any combination is available. So if students want to do a mix of arts, dramas, sciences, that is available. And that's quite a rare thing to find. So we will ask sort of in the spring what subjects students are keen to do, and then we will build the option blocks around them. And it's very unusual that we cannot provide our students with the combination they want to study. We also keep that flexibility going, certainly in the first term of the lower six. So we have a lot of students starting with 4 subjects, and they will try out maybe some different subjects initially to make sure they've got the right combination. And again, that is quite rare. In a sixth form college, once you've signed up for a course, you will usually have to stick with it. So we like to have that flexibility there. We know people change their minds. Obviously, you'll see your GCSE results. You might want to kind of test out some different options. And we want to make sure that our students are passionate about the subjects that they do, that they've got the right combination, and that they're happy to take that through for the 2 years. So that's really, really important that we keep that flexibility going. We like them to have a sort of firm idea and a firm sort of plan by October half term, but most students now are kind of settled and happy and moving forwards. So each A-level would have 5 hours of taught lessons per week. We also have PSHE, or sort of futures section for our students at year 12 as well. And they're still very much part of our school options programme. The slight difference being we really like our sixth formers to offer to run those options and take a bit of responsibility. So if there's something they think the younger students would enjoy, we fully encourage them to kind of put that on offer themselves. So they're learning new skills, running a kind of option and managing it for themselves with the support of a member of staff. All subject choices are catered for. Anything goes at the beginning. Average class size is around 5 to 7 students, which is the thing I think that sort of sets us apart. That's a fantastic number to allow you to really get to know your subject teachers. Your subject teachers, again, a lot of them you will already know, so you haven't got to kind of build that relationship. It's already there. And a group that size can still allow you to do lots of kind of combined activities, but also give you the personal attention from those teachers. You have to get involved in a class of that size, so there's nowhere to hide. It's really important that, you know, every student is given the opportunity to take a full role in those lessons and really kind of thrive as much as they possibly can. So this is our current subject offering, and again, this is all in your booklets that you have been given. So we've got 25 subjects on offer at A-level, including the recent additions of things like philosophy, economics, and also our food science and nutrition level 3 diploma, which is the equivalent of an A-level, and that's proving a very popular choice for some of our students. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, Becky is here tonight and we'll be able to talk to you about that. And as I say, the EPQ also available. So there's a really wide choice, and again, any subject combination is available. We have some of our students who might take more than one art subject, or students that will take a real blend of their kind of favourite subjects and subjects they want to do well in. So we try and encourage our students to follow their passions, to really kind of think carefully about those choices. We do advise them gently along the way and make sure they are choosing the right combinations. And obviously if they have a specific career in mind, we will make sure that they have chosen subjects that are going to allow them to access that later on. Again, a little summary of our exam results from 2023. So we had some really, really strong results this year in our science subjects, which was really lovely to see. We've got growing groups in sciences particularly, but as always, subjects like art, 3D design, incredibly popular, but real success across the board, which we were very pleased with. And even more importantly, I think, the destinations that our students kind of chose and went to, we had 92% of our students getting into their first choice university, which they were very happy about. A lot of those, significant number of that being Russell Group universities. But we also have a very large number of our students who will go on to do art foundation courses or art degrees. And we've got just a sort of sample on the screen of some of the places that our students have gone to. So a real variety with subjects from sort of medicine to furniture and product design and archaeology and fine art. So a huge, huge range. And we're always happy to kind of hear where our students are heading and also hear back from them in the future, so they do keep in touch with us and let us know how they're getting on. And it's really exciting to sort of see where our students want to end up. Another area I think is a real strength for us is our personal tutor system. So this is a real kind of advantage for our students. We move away from the kind of classic sort of form that the students might have been used to lower down in their schooling. And our tutors are a bit more like academic mentors, but a really important first point of contact. So you would have a one-to-one meeting with your tutor every week for 10 minutes. And that could be in the sort of morning as you arrive in school, or it could be in one of your independent study periods. And they will sit with you, review how you're getting on, help you set targets and make sure that all is well. So we very much focus on their well-being as well as academic success. That's really important. And we know that it's important to have regular contact home. So the tutors will keep in touch on a regular basis to make sure that everyone is in the loop and knows that all is well at school. So I think that is a real difference perhaps to a more of a sixth form college where you may not get that much contact time with a tutor. So our tutors give personalised support. They are aiming to be proactive. They really want to pick up on any small issues before they become bigger issues. We don't want to just be reacting to events. So they'll monitor things like attendance. Again, we do want our students to be in the building. We want them to kind of be working hard. We want them to be kind of progressing and responding to feedback from their subject teachers. And we'll keep making sure they are fully engaged with their kind of A-level programme of study. So they will obviously be in touch. We all keep an eye and make sure that everyone is sort of well, happy and working hard. Wider support in the sixth form, as I mentioned before, includes a sort of PSHE Futures programme. The difference with this perhaps to PSHE lower down the school is that our sixth form students very much can have a choice as to what they cover in this. So we've had a lot of input from the current year 12 who have said they'd like to do more on things like financial management, applying for jobs, interviews, those kind of things. So we're able to adapt that to the needs of our students and make sure that they are being prepared holistically for life after school. Another thing that I'm really proud of in our sixth form is that we give a lot of support during the process of applying to university. So we have a team of UCAS advisors. We will work out roughly what area our students are wanting to aim for. So we have an art specialist, we have someone who kind of identifies students who might be wanting to apply for Oxbridge or medicine and dentistry, which is a sort of earlier application, and then someone who focuses on sort of apprenticeships or maybe a slightly different pathway. So you get a lot of support in preparing your UCAS statements, in making the right choices, and really we're there to answer any questions that the students might have. And because we're accessible in the sixth form, they can drop in any time and make sure that application process is going through really smoothly. And we do, get very sort of quick feedback from the universities, which means that we know that our personal statements are good, that our references are working, and our students are very successful in getting offers from the places that they apply to. We know that some of our students may need ongoing support from the SEND department, so we are sort of increasingly building that, and we have drop-ins available for students, particularly in year 12, because we know the step up to A-level is a significant one. We know that you are not going to have independent study skills honed and ready to go at the start of the A-level course. So we help our students sort of settle into that stride, to manage their time effectively, to start planning those maybe bigger and more challenging pieces of work. And that's really important. And we like to offer, if necessary, some supervised study sessions, because there are some students who find managing their time perhaps a little more challenging at the beginning. As the work becomes a bit more serious later on, the reality sets in and we find they disappear off into the quiet study spaces, and they know what needs to be done. But we know that is hard to manage when you've got that initial freedom of kind of unsupervised kind of periods in that timetable. But yeah, the support is there at every step of the way. Something else that we really want our students to take away from their time in the sixth form is not just academic success, but also developing leadership skills, developing a sense of responsibility, and giving something a little bit back to the school community, because we know some of our students have been here a very long time, and they actually really look forward to the opportunity to become one of our major officials. So we have elections, the whole process is about to start for the year 12s at the moment. And it's a really important way of kind of learning some different skills, some of which might, be standing up and talking in front of open days, which is very challenging when you're younger. Or it might be effectively running a small business for the major official that runs the tuck shop. So there's a huge amount to learn. And a huge opportunity for them to perhaps develop a skill set that they wouldn't normally get in a much larger school. So they're in position from January to January, which means it doesn't then interfere with A-levels in the final sort of few terms of the school. As I mentioned, we have our extensive options programme still available to our sixth formers. With the potential for them to kind of choose options, run options for themselves. And we think it's really important for them to keep those things going alongside that work. It's really important to keep that balance. We know some of our students are really keen to sort of keep their sport going, so there's lots of potential to kind of keep that going on a Thursday afternoon, but there's a huge variety of skills that they can kind of pick and enjoy every week, just to sort of balance out that work programme. And it's nice to be able to sort of mix with the rest of the school in those options, and again hopefully lead some of them themselves. Again, extracurricular or co-curricular activities. Lots of our students this year particularly have been playing in sort of football matches all term. There are lots of kind of keen sports people that are wanting to keep matches going, so football and netball, basketball, all of those things are still available on offer and very much encouraged, because if you are busy, you're going to learn that effective time management and be able to sort of juggle all of those things together. And we also have lots of our sixth formers right up to year 13 in our upcoming school production, and they are managing that really effectively. It will be busy and hectic in the coming weeks before the show, but they are learning really importantly to kind of enjoy those things, to take opportunities, but also manage their time really effectively. So that is something we strongly encourage. So lots playing in sports teams, we have lots of musicians, and probably excitingly, lots of our sixth form trips are sort of fully back online now. So we have a sort of cultural trip every summer to a European city, and we have some bigger trips. So some of our students are going to Borneo in a few weeks' time, and lots of our students in this room have just seen a sort of presentation on a trip to Sri Lanka next year, which sounds really exciting. But the LSP week, so our late summer programme, which is a week that everyone gets involved with, students have multiple options there. They can do some work experience, which we will help them set up, but they can choose to go on the late summer programme, which is a week cultural experience. The latest trip was to Florence, and I believe Berlin is the next plan. So lots of exciting opportunities to go away as a sixth form and have an amazing experience in a sort of foreign city. Boarding is something that some of our students and you as families may wish to consider. We have a lot of sixth formers who are choosing to flexi-board, which supports their studies because it means they don't have sort of time travelling. They can be straight into school in the morning, ready to start work. So we have about 20 to 25% of our sixth form currently flexi-boarding, which gives them, again, a chance to mix with all of our sixth form students, including our lovely international students. And really kind of gives them the opportunity to throw themselves into the school community and see things from maybe a slightly different side. So that's something that we have some students here tonight who may be able to kind of tell you a little bit more about that. Now, Maddie, our fabulous marketing assistant, has created a video for us, just so that you can hear a little bit from our sixth formers themselves.
My name is Ben.
My name is Petra.
My name is Harley.
Sophie.
I'm Emma.
Rachel.
My name is Marcus Lee.
I'm studying music,
Philosophy,
Biology and drama A-level.
Biology.
Maths,
film studies,
chemistry,
Geography,
Psychology and politics.
and 3D design.
and music.
I love the fact that it's more than subject focused.
Just the environment and just the way the school is very different to my old school that I was at, and I just felt like it would just be like a more of a supportive school in terms of my well-being and my studying.
You learn a lot more here and get more opportunities here to do things outside of lessons that you don't at other places.
They'd have set blocks, and so you couldn't mix kind of arty and academic subjects together, whereas here, because they adapt them to what you want to do, I could take my drama and my science together, which was a priority for me.
And then at secondary school, I looked around at a couple of other sixth forms. I think the class sizes were so small here, I thought it makes so much of a difference.
And obviously, like, the friendships I've made here, I wanted to maintain those. I just think that the support that I get from the teachers and like my friends and the environment, I just really appreciated it at St. Chris.
The sixth form is certainly more, I think open's the word I'd use.
I really like how we mix year groups a lot. I think it makes it a lot more informal.
I really like how self-led it is and how much freedom we get here.
There's more interpersonal type relationships that happen, especially with teachers and staff and such like that.
I think sixth form's much more of a close-knit community, I think, because it's a lot smaller as well.
And I feel like if I went to a different sixth form or senior school, the years are very segregated, but it creates more of like a community environment, which I really like about St. Chris.
I've built a special bond with the teachers, and they know what my strengths and weaknesses are.
I dropped psychology at Christmas in year 12 because it just wasn't for me. I couldn't understand it, but they were really, really good in the sense that they helped me find another subject I could take. Even though it was that late, they helped me find one that would link into my other subjects.
It's got me feeling more independent with my time, and I think the teachers have helped us along the way. They didn't just throw us straight into the deep end.
It's a good mix and quite tailored to each student. If I have a question for a teacher, they are almost always available, and it can be one-on-one, very personal, or it can be completely down to me.
You have more of a individual relationship with your teachers. You're not part of a class, but you are part of their class. So they will put in more time and effort with you. At the same time, you have to put in more work for them.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the class sizes. I think I'm so much more able to put my hand up and ask a question. You know, I'm not as scared as I would be if I was in a class with like 25 people.
The atmosphere is great. Great people, lots of great people.
And also you get your own privacy because I have my own room.
The fact that during boarding I'm able to be involved with the rest of the school more as well. You know, I do a lot in the theatre. The fact that I'm here at all hours gives me a lot more opportunity to do stuff there as well.
I love boarding. I think, especially for sixth form, it's a really, really great step before uni.
And the boarding experience itself is great.
Work hard and ask any questions.
You know, it's okay to not know exactly what you want to study in university because this is what A-levels are for, to figure out what you want to do.
I'd say don't just focus on the subjects. I'd say St. Chris are, in my opinion, better than anywhere at least I looked at in terms of what they offer academically, but I really would encourage people to have a look at everything else they offer.
I'd say definitely give it a chance because it's not something that you're going to find like in other schools, and the relationship with the teachers is really great. So I would recommend St. Chris. I would describe St. Chris as charismatic,
Adventurous.
Fun,
Welcoming,
It's quite unique.
supportive,
nurturing,
Encouraging.
Resourceful.
and friendly.
and it's always something different. There's always something different going on in the school.
fun. Sorry, that's so crunchy. Don't put that in. Don't put that in.
So our students were literally sort of put a little bit on the spot with that, and they were not given any scripts. That is genuinely their sort of views on the school. So yeah, we really want to help our students kind of settle into the school. We have a really positive programme to help them sort of transition from year 11 to the sixth form, which begins in the June, sort of straight after their GCSE exams, and obviously starts in September, which we follow with a bonding trip, which happens sort of really early on. So that's just a quick residential trip with lots of team building activities. So by the end of sort of week 2 of the sixth form, we feel really like a strong community. Everyone is settled in and raring to go and get stuck into those A-levels. We've got opportunities now next door in the sports hall for you to come and talk to all of our subject teachers. So we've got all our heads of departments available to answer questions. And obviously myself, Nat, Rich and Joe as head of the current Year 11s will be available. We also have refreshments. So I'm sure you're all ready for a nice cup of something. So I'll probably leave questions to sort of inside because I know you're keen to go and speak to subject teachers. But thank you so much for giving up your time and coming this evening. We really kind of want you to give St Chris some consideration as a place where we are going to support and nurture your young people and really sort of push them to be the best they can be by the end of their 2 years. And I'm always certainly incredibly proud of the young people that they are when they leave our school. So it's been lovely to sort of see you all here this evening, and do come through to the sports hall and ask any questions you might have. All right. Thank you very much.